Okay, I think we are live. Cool. Thanks so much for joining me again. Sorry for the delay on this. I've had an infusion and a lot of stuff going on, so that's life with MS, right? So, let's jump right in. I wanted to show you this because I finally figured out how this was breaking down, and yeah. So we had tried a little while ago. Where to go? To create this little mix-in for headings. Make sure that's big enough for you to see. So this is just kind of like a shortcut way to like grab all of the headings, because it's really frustrating to have to like list this out every time we have to make some kind of style for headings. Maybe that's colors or whatever. So I couldn't get this to work. I tried this other one. I'm still trying to figure out why this doesn't work, because I'm still not sure on this one. However, this is finally working, and it's because I am going back to this kind of the new way, the right way to use Sass instead of using a bunch of import files. So if I go back down to like this cards, you can see it's in a different folder than our abstracts where this mix-in is. And the reason why I wasn't working is because you're supposed to use these use statements. And so I had to say, look, I want to use the mix-ins from this folder. And then this is called namespacing, where it basically says, we can use names at the very beginning, just to, in case there are duplicates of names, or other conflicts, things like that. We can just say, kind of like a property, where I'm saying, look, we're gonna call everything from this file a mix-in. And down here, I've just gone in and said include mix-in, which is that name I gave it. And then I chose the headings mix-in from that file to do the padding top. So if we add like the classic color red, we can see this update on our lovely little site. So I'm going to save and restart. So then if I refresh, all of our headings are now red inside of a card. And so that's really nice. It's finally working. So finally I was able to, get that answer for you. In case you're still wondering about that. That was like from a month ago, I feel like. So let's switch that back. All right. So today, we can see our site. I mean, it's coming together-ish. There are still some bugs, obviously, like the way I did the pre-styling. It's even like covering up stuff like down here. Like you can, as I highlight, you can see it's like the background's covering up text. So we need to fix that. We need to fix a couple of issues with the footer and then the navigation. So I'm just going to make this kind of a working session where I'm just going to start, busting out this site so that maybe it looks a little bit presentable, and maybe we can push it live or something, and check that out. So let's see. I think I will go with the nav first, just because it's the very top. Kind of important, So let's do that. I'm gonna head over here. I don't think we've actually set up anything for the styles for this. So what I'm gonna do first is I just need to honestly just kind of reintroduce myself into this. So I'm gonna look at what we have for the HTML structure. Okay, so we just have a header nav as the ID. We've got our skip. We've got a UL with all of our links in there, and it's just a nav element. So cool. Definitely can work with this, right? So I don't foresee needing to make a class out of this. So I'm just going to cheat and kind of use the ID, because I don't see this site as needing like another nav bar. Similar to this header bar. Like I don't see it needing a secondary nav that's similar in layout to what we're going to do here. So I'm just going to use the ID. I could just use the nav element, but I do foresee maybe needing a secondary nav for like maybe on the side that just kind of quickly goes through maybe categories or something. So I want to save that as something different. So I will just use the header nav ID. So if I'm going to go back, let's go back down into, I feel like this is kind of a layout thing. You could argue it's a component as well. But I'm just going to put it in layout. Yeah, I feel like I've pretty much already done that. Oh yeah, I actually have. So yeah, maybe I just need to fix how it's. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm obviously rusty on this project. But yeah, let's take a look at what we've done here. So let's just revisit this place. I'm gonna inspect right here up at the top and pull this in. So what we've got is here's our nav. It's got a grid on it. Oh, that's right. So it has that's right. So it's got like the little margin space. So if I can make that a little clearer, we've got this little square on the left. That's kind of like our margin that we don't want it to go past. And then we've got a middle section, and then you can't see it because we actually have some side scrolling issues. There is another one on of this margin on the right. So that means we have this middle section to kind of play with. And actually that may mean, I guess we can just do header nav in the UL. Okay. Yeah, I think we can just style the UL for this. So if we go back into the code, we can let's just do this right here. So I'm gonna throw back in that ID header nav because I want this to be fairly like scoped, right? Because this is pretty much only going to be a header nav layout. Like I said, we're not going to be using this other ways. So we're going to say the UL within the header nav, that's going to be, we just want it to, we don't want to have the typical margin on it, or let's see, is it padding or margin? I always get confused. Oh, it's padding. So yeah, we want to get rid of the padding on it. And then we're going to want to list each list item. I just want to be horizontal, just kind of like your standard header nav. So let's go ahead and grab our list items. You know what? I think I can just actually do UL display is flex. I'm going to use flex for this. Defaults to row. We could do like a gap on there for like 2 rem or something. And then I do want to make sure the color is accessible though. So this will be the anchor tags inside of the LI. So if you look right here, we're gonna have a list. Each list on the nav item is going to have a link, right? So we're going to grab this link, make sure the color stays white. I don't remember if I've been doing colors here. That may be something we could refactor, is the color theming. But yeah, for right now, white is just fine. And I might... trying to think, do I want well let's just save and then head on over here and make sure that this is working okay so far. Refresh. Okay, cool. So we do need to get rid of the list items. I want to get rid of the text decoration, and then add some padding in on the UL side, I believe. Or actually, yeah, we could just make this, since we're using flex, we can just align them to the center, I think. So yeah, let's just do that because that makes it even easier. Let's do UL, and the LI in there is going to be align. Oh wait, Just kidding. We don't want this. We want the list style to be none. And then up here, we want the align items center. So let's go ahead and check that out. See if that made a difference that we want. Okay, perfect. So yes, now they are centered vertically. And then I just need to get rid of that text decoration, and we are cruising here. So yeah, on our anchor tag, we're going to get rid of the text decoration, none. And let's just do a hover state while we're here. So like hover, oops. And we'll do, I don't know, color is, actually no, we could do something kind of fun where it's actually the background. I think we could do that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just make it a background color because I think that's kind of fun. Kind of makes it look like a button on the inside of the nav. So we're gonna need a background color. Let's just do white. Let's just, you know, make it basically reversed of what you can see on the page. That means we're gonna have to change the color to black. And I'm gonna add in a transition of like, I think Bootstrap usually does this, so it chooses all 0.15 seconds. We'll just do like ease in, and then the last thing was we'll probably want some padding just to make sure it looks kind of nice. So I'm just gonna do like 1 rem of padding on each of our list items anchor tags. So let's see what this looks like. Head on over here. So we should see, okay, that's disappeared, and we've got now a little button when I hover over it. So that's kind of cool. I do actually kind of like that. Maybe a little bit too much on the top and bottom for padding, but for right now, this is looking great. We have it. Let's see. I think the only thing I want to do now is add in like a little logo section, and then I'll fix up that padding just real fast. So yeah, let's padding one. Let's just do like half of that, so 0.5 rem on the top and bottom. We'll keep that 1 rem on the sides there because I think that's kind of nice. So we'll save that. And then the last thing is we need a little bit of room for like just a logo. And I'm just going to put in the, all right. So in here, we probably will want this to be, that's a good question. You know what? We're going to put it outside of the UL just so that we don't have to override styles and everything. We're just going to create a brand new little div here. I'm going to call it brand, and I can just I'm just going to grab my let's grab, let's do this the right way just so we can see how this works in 11D. So the way I've been storing my images is in the static folder, I believe. Yep, images. And then we've got pretty much just create a new folder here because I'm gonna call it brand. So all the other folders are like basically for these. There's only a couple for the cards basically. So I just created a new folder called brand. We're gonna stuff the not defined tech brand in there, which I need to go find. Maybe. Let's grab that file. Just right here, brand and the logo. Copy this, and then let's see. I don't know if I can. Let me reveal in Finder. And I will copy it manually off the screen. Sorry about that. But yeah, now you can see we've got our logo in there. Brand is here. So now we just need to insert that into our brand section here, which is going to be static brand. And then, what did I call it? Not defined, not def logo. Not def logo.png. Let's see if that works, because I'm not actually sure. I don't think I got that right. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's pulling in unless... Where are we at? Huh, that should have worked. Let's double check here. Where did we put in, like, let's check out this email dash. Okay, so right here. Let's check out how we did this in our cards. Can we find it? Ah, here we go. Still slash static slash images slash tips. Let's troubleshoot. So that should have worked. Did I miss something? Probably. It's in our base. You know what? I might need to do like... I think I need to get out of there. So let's see. Okay, so yeah, that's just your classic issue where we have, you know, a folder. We're inside of this folder, but we need to go outside of the folder to then get down to the statics. So let's double check if that actually worked, because it's finding it at least in the IDE, but not here. Ooh, okay. Well, there's something interesting. How do we get this to work? Oh, it's like fully... Whoa. Was I just using... No, I swear I was using other things. Let's see. I think it was quick tips. What? I'm way confused now. Let's see. Troubleshooting guides. I feel like these were not linked somewhere else. Okay, slash static. Huh. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to double check what the deal is here. Weird. Yeah, I'm seeing it in the folder, like in the compiled folder. So I'm not sure why it's not showing up here in the nav. Oh, we're not even, wait. Oh, header nav. Okay. Come on. So yeah, we need to get rid of this ... Oh, it thinks it's resources if we do that. So yeah, let's go back into our code, get rid of this, because it should be slash static. So now, if I save, I wonder if there's some, like, this is kind of where we go check the documentation, right? 11D docs. Let's just consult the source here. Docs. And we want... Oh, did I not go there? Let's do, like... I'm going to zoom out here so I can see. Here we go. Find static? No. Let's do like images. Image. Okay, well, let's try this. Image. What can you tell me? Let's see. More features, installation, usage. Come on. Come on. Path prefix. Nope. Output directory. I don't think any of... Okay, use it in our templates. I don't think this is helping me. Because, yeah, let's go back here. So what I've done is I know that I have... Let's see. Where's my 11D? Here we go. So, yeah, pass through static. So that should be going through, and I can see that it is. Yeah, I'm puzzled on this one why it's not showing up. So I'm gonna go, we're gonna table that one. And just so I'm not wasting your time here, let's just grab the not defined logo from notdefined.tech, the blog. So I'm gonna grab the image address. We're gonna go back here, and then I'm gonna go into my template and swap it for now. So we're gonna have to, I'm gonna make a note of that that did not work as expected. How to add images in the base.html /static. All right, so now we can see this is lovely. That worked really well. So I'm gonna have to fix that. Way too big, but that's all right. So let's go back to our coding and into CSS layout. Cool. So now we can handle the brand inside of our header nav. So, and brand. We're gonna put a max width of this. Actually, we're gonna want to do that on the image, but I'll just put it as like, I don't know, 80 pixels probably, somewhere around there. I'm gonna add in image because we want the image to scale down, right? So I'm gonna save there, and let's just double check to make sure that actually worked. See how we're looking. Any better? Okay, a little bit better. It is covering up stuff still, so let's see what's... Oh, we're pushing it down, that's why. Okay, cool. We need to go just a little bit smaller, and then the last thing, let's just go 50. And we want the brand to also stay in the middle. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm just going to pull this out right now. Instead of the UL... Do I want the UL? I don't know. Dang it, that's tough. I mean, because we want the whole nav to basically be on one line. So I'm going to switch this to display of flex on the header nav itself. I'm going to align the items center. I don't know. Let's see what happens, because I can't remember if that's going to be a problem. Let's put our gap up here, gap of 2 rem. Let's see what this does. When I refresh, there we go. Okay, so we're kind of back to where we were. Oh, and you know what? That's actually, ooh, I didn't think about that. That is actually the problem, I think. Because grid, are you placing this? Wait, where did grid go? Here we go. Oh, did we not? Now I'm just like way confused. Sorry about that. Okay, so brand starts here. There's the UL. It's got a gap of probably the 2 rem right in between it. Yeah. Okay, so I was thinking for some reason, I thought the grid, did we invalidate this? Oh, let's see. That's right. We just invalidated our grid layout. So that's not going to work. So I'm going to go back here. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Let's bring this back. Same with the align item center. Back onto the UL, and then I think we're just going to have to do we're just gonna have to do a little something. I'm trying to figure out, do I want to add more HTML structure just to make the flex work, or do I want to keep, I don't know. I think it'd probably be just easier to just add a little bit of extra. So we're going to say, I don't care about this because this is actually positioned to absolute. If I recall correctly, we know that this is a grid because we have the margins on the side that keep it aligned with the content. So that means I just need one more layer, and maybe we just flex this whole thing. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to say, here's our actual nav bar. So here we are again with kind of your classic Bootstrap. Actually, I don't know if they quite do it like this, but with their naming convention at least. Then I'm going to grab nav bar, going to go over to our grid and do one more thing. This is going to be dot nav bar. This is where we're going to add in our display of flex. I still want to keep this on the UL though, because we need to make sure the line items stay in a line. And then everything else inside the nav bar is going to line up also with them, but separately. So, all right, let's go back here and refresh. I need to refresh over here too. And then we can see we finally have a somewhat nice looking nav bar now. So, okay, cool. That works actually. That's okay. Let's call that good for just a second. Yeah, I mean, that's not too bad. Although we're going to have to fix this anyway, so we might as well just do this now. I don't want to home. I just want to click on the logo because that's just like standard. So, and then it cleans up the links here. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go over to our base. Let's make sure that the brand, let's just wrap this in an anchor tag. We'll put it to home. Wrap that whole brand in there. And then the last thing is we're going to have to figure out how to ignore that first page, the home page. And I believe, let's see, is that because, let's go in there, content, nope, resources, page data, navigation. Page data, navigation, where is that? Oh man, this is why you need to write down notes and documentation. I love documentation, even when it's like super dumb, or at least it seems like it. Seems like a lot of work, but man, when you're playing around with a framework that you're not used to, and then you come back to it after like a month, and it's like so rusty. Like, I don't even remember how you do this. So let's double check here. Resources. Oh, okay. Oh wait, no, that's not right. 'Cause I remember that's not working. I do remember when things weren't working. That's tends to be the case anyway. Let's see. It's not in there. That's the folder that you push live. For page and collections.all. Oh, it's collections. Oh, that's right. Okay. And then I'm saying for the page data, that would be each page in the collection. And right now it has resources, which is right here. Because this is ignored as like a route. Resources is a route. Am I remember this? Oh no, it's because is that down? Okay. Boy, I am real struggling, aren't I? That's okay. Yeah, resources. Okay, nav orders 2. Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay, that's right. All right, so our index page, which is home, and then our resources page, these are the templates for that specific page, and I've added this little guy right here. So I wonder if I can just get rid of these. If I do that, hit save, and then go back. Yes, okay, so we got that. Crazy. All right, that I'm gonna fix this up too, so that because the nav order is gonna be 1 now because we already have a home on that logo. Whew, that was tough. Thanks for sticking with me. Yeah. So now we've got a nav. It's actually kind of working like, standard. I mean, this is pretty good. That's pretty good. So now we've got to fix the footer, and actually I think should be pretty simple because I think I just messed up the HTML on it. So we can see, I put so there's the container class, and I put a div with container, but then this grid is actually taking care of the actual layout, so we don't need to worry about the container. So I think if we just go over to our footer, wherever that is, actually where is that? It's base. Okay, yeah, and we don't need this anymore. So, or if anything, I can just call it legal. I do kind of like to still have that in case we need it for some reason. Let's save that. Check this out. Okay, cool. Yeah, now that's working. So I'm going to do the same thing. I don't think we need to make it flex. Let's see if we can make this work with grid, because I know footer is grid, is a display of grid. So let's see. I think you can still do alignment and stuff on that. Layout grid, and all right, so we've got our header nav up here, we've got some footer stuff up there too, so I'm gonna put this below the header. So we've got footer. I think we can just do a line items center, and that might be enough to get us to where we want. Let's check it out. All right, there we go. Hey, that works super great. So that's perfect. I don't really need anything else there. Yeah, actually that's kind of cool. And so that works perfect. I really like to see that kind of styling just because it keeps it so simple. I probably could go through and fix up this stuff a little later because this probably is overkill to have 2 different flex nav bars. But let's just go ahead and let's just move on to fixing some of our other issues that we see on the page. Let's do the pre styling right here. Where was that? Atoms, maybe? No, abstracts. Pre. Okay. So I definitely did this a non-good way, right? Let's check out what it's doing. So we know that the background is, with that padding that I've put on it, the background is like overlapping itself and stacking. So we definitely don't want that. So I wonder, let's double check what the structure is like right here. So we've got our code in a p tag, and then code, and then body, which is the body of the card. Let's double check that in the code. So it should be just under info card. Yeah, we've got body here, and then I guess that means that inside of the, what's it called, inside the actual content is where it's showing the pre, because this is just for flexible content, right? So it doesn't know what it is, doesn't matter to it. We're just going to stuff it in from the card. So if I go into, where would this be? Advanced, maybe. Let's see if there's a tips. How to write an email link. There we go. This should have, and I think this is correct. So it's using the markdown for that code style. So I wonder if we can do this with pseudo elements, because I don't know that I really want. I just want to see if we can do this as lightweight as possible. So I don't want to have to remember that I need to wrap this in something in HTML, because that also means we're wrapping HTML with markdown in the same file. I don't think that's ideal. I think if you're writing your content in markdown, try to stick with markdown as much as possible. I feel like that just makes logical sense as far as like keeping things clean and easy to remember, because it's easy to remember, like, oh, I'm in HTML, so I'm just writing HTML. I'm in CSS, so I'm writing CSS. So same goes with markdown. So I wonder if we can do this with some pseudo elements to fix our background issue, because that's not looking so good right now. Yeah, so let's just comment out the background color and the padding, because what I think we could do is actually we don't want it up here, we want it down here. Let's just do a before, because we can add a background like behind the content basically, and then we could actually just grab these two and uncomment them. Let's just see if that fixes anything. Refresh. Not quite. So, that's because I missed. Yes, okay. I always miss this, because I just am like, oh yeah, let's just get going, and then on the before and after, I always forget the content. So let's see if that helps at all. Once I actually refresh here. There we go. Okay, so it's wow, it's really not working very well. So we need to make sure that the width probably matches the code itself, like the element width and everything. So what I'm gonna do, I think we can actually do this. I saw this the other day. I'm pretty sure if we just do like position absolute, and then I'm gonna do an inset to say like touch all of the corner, like top, bottom, left, right, will basically all be 0, is what I recall this meaning. Let's see if that works, because I think what this then would do is say, this is a background, we popped it out of the flow and everything, like, and we're trying to stretch it so that it basically follows whatever the parent is, which parent maybe isn't the right word, but since we're looking at the code, it's the before of the code. I'm matching whatever this width and height is. At least that's what I believe is going to go down when I switch over. And that did not work. So let's check out what's going on here. We have our before. It has a background color, but it is not showing up. Maybe inset is the wrong thing. Let's try just like top 0. Oops. Come on. Come on. Struggling here. There we go. Bottom 0. Yeah. Come on. Add a new one, please. There we go. Left 0. Right of 0. And yep, that's just not working. Why do I need to make sure code? Actually, maybe I need code. Dang it. I always, yeah, yeah, let's see if this makes it work. Position relative, because it needs to be relative. It needs to know what it's relative to. So this is absolute, but we're putting it on the code, and so we're gonna make position relative so that it knows that that's the container it's supposed to be following. So let's try this one more time. Give it a refresh. Okay, that's looking a little bit better, at least on this side. What happened here? Interesting, actually. This is code, and this is code. Language CSS. That's funny. What's the deal here? Why is this behind? And why is this one just fine? Oh, it's pre and then code. That's interesting. Did I mix my... See, that's why it's like confusing when you mix stuff. Come on. Come on. Let's see. Fixing the blue links. Oh, okay. So that's weird. That's really interesting. I wonder if 11D is putting the pre above it when I have a language specified. So I don't know. Let's try going back here, and maybe it's just not. Maybe let's just try this and see if that changes anything. Because I wonder if I've done an 11D thing that's kind of weird. Okay, well there you go. That didn't quite work either. So let's add the language. And wow. Okay, so stuff is going all kind of weird here. I am worried that maybe this is being, but it has text, so it should be fine, even if it was thinking it was actually, what's it called, text, or HTML. Gotta love this here. Okay, what's going on? Take off the background here, take off the background. It's gonna be the same. Boy, I don't know what is causing the difference and why this is suddenly strange. So let's restrict the width, I think. How are we doing that on here? maybe this is a grid. Maybe this is where we jump into like fixing our layout just a little bit, because yeah, now we're side scrolling like crazy. I don't know what, let's see. Because we're inside of this grid, which should be inside of this one. Oh, okay, so maybe we need a, do we need a max width on? Let's make this much smaller so that Okay, well, let's stop messing around in the browser and let's actually take a look at what this is doing. So, we know, what do we know? We know that we're putting in the language when we have this, and that's what we did up here. And it appears to be working correctly. So, I now need to figure out how to restrict the width of our grid, our big grid, the container grid, just to make sure it's not scrolling. So actually, you know what? This is what you do. You cheat and you go over to some kind of inspiration site, right? So I super love this open props. Found this from Kevin Powell's channel, although I believe it's Adam Argyle that has created this, and I believe he has used grid as the basis of his layout. So let's see what he did. Yeah, so the body is gridded out, so a little bit different. Let's check out what he did here. So overflow X is hidden. Grid template columns. I'm pretty sure we stole this kind of a formula from him. Yeah, I don't know how that's... So maybe it's actually my cards that are the problem, because yeah, that may be the issue. Let's see. Let's just see if he's got anything. Yeah, how did he do this? Because I know these are cards. If we zoom out a little bit, you can see. Pretty sure they stack. Yeah. So they're kind of stacking, kind of similar to what we're doing on our site that we're working on here. So, let's check out what... So we've got our demo gallery here, and he's using Flex for the cards, which probably, honestly, is a... That's probably a better way to do it. You know what? Let's just do it. Let's just do it. I am tired of waiting for this, for my brain to wrap itself around grid. We're gonna go for this as Flex. So what I'm gonna have to do is, let's double check where we put our cards, because I think card grid. Okay, so we've got our card grid here. Okay. I'm like, I want to just abandon it, but then I'm like, I'm so close. I'm sure I'm just missing one thing. So let's just try and add like, because I don't want the grid to go past its container, right? So why is it going past the container? Is it because of this? Well, yes, we are using a very large image. However, I thought... Okay, well, let's try something. I don't remember. I don't think we did this on... Ooh, actually, yeah, we don't want to do that. It's got to be the cards. So, one last thing to check is Bootstrap, of course, because I really like Bootstrap. Oops. And I'm just curious if they have any kind of grid use with cards. I'm pretty sure they don't, but I just want to double check like how do they make this stay basically that size? Is it just because the content... Oh, they forced it to be 18 rem. That's another way to do it. Force the width. But I was trying to use the grid to create those columns. So okay, we can try one more thing before I turn this into Flex. Let's change this. Right now it's saying we're doing a 3-column grid where each one is one fraction of the allotted space. Yeah, let's first max width. Okay, let's do card media. That's where I just don't know what I should do here. I think for this specific one, let's just try changing that to max width of like, I don't know, 200 pixels. And it's still stretching because, so I believe it's the code that is the problem, not the image. So there's something eliminated, because I'm pretty sure it was working just fine with before. So before we go rip out the foundation of our house, let's make sure, let's just see if this, I don't know, width of 100%. Does that change anything? Nope. Do I need to make sure the pre with this 100%? We could just do like a max width instead. So a max width of like 33%. Nope. Still doesn't. Oh, so it is doing that. But this before might be the problem. Oh, man. Really? So if I turn like everything off and it's still... Okay. Man, okay, well, we're just gonna rip out the house because I don't want to keep fighting with this and wasting your time. So I apologize. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna create a brand new class because this is frustrating me. We'll just do card layout, I guess. And switch it around. So display of flex, we're gonna do, what do we want? Sheesh, this is frustrating for me. I'm sorry. Let's just refresh and start over. Yeah, I just don't want to let this go. Clearly. So maybe this is fine. This one is not because it's so long. So actually, maybe all we need to do is do a wrap. Maybe I'm just like overthinking this. So let's go back here. Let's go to our base. We need this to word break, right? Okay, yeah, that's right. So word break. Let's just do break all and see if that fixes anything at all. So I'm gonna refresh. Ay. And it still didn't work. So, yeah. And now I'm getting real frustrated. I just wanted to show my text. I mean, come on. And that should... Oh, man. I'd have to bust out all my secret tricks with like HTML entities if I want to make this work, break in the right places. I'm still just thinking way too far ahead of the problem. So, okay. We've got this code class language HTML. Does that impact anything, or is that just... I think that's just how 11D is compiling that markdown. Unless there's like a markdown standard for that, I would not know that. And we have pre, which... I'm not sure. Can we just display block this? I'm just trying to figure out what in the world. Okay, so that's... That's not helping. I'm just trying to figure out why is it extending. Let's get rid of the pre. Does that do anything? I mean, obviously that fixed that, but let's see. Because I think, okay, so pre-formatted text, same with the code, I believe. They're supposed to just keep... They stretch beyond the container because it's pre-formatted, so it's supposed to keep the integrity of it. So like if I were to copy all of this code in there, it should keep all of the spaces, tabs, everything. And so I think the problem is word break. How do I make sure... Word wrap, break word. I don't know if that's even gonna make any difference, but I know that I am confident that our problem is this pre-formatted text. And let's see. Come on. How do we make this not do that? We could do an overflow. Let's just do any overflow. And I mean, sites do this all the time, right? You have a scroll bar. So right now we're scrolling up and down for some reason. Come on. let's just put that on the code instead. Is it the pre or the code? Which is the problem? White space collapse. Text wrap, no wrap. Oh. Yeah, so you can see okay, so I don't think code is the problem tag. It does look like it's pre. So again, I apologize. So let's just try making pre. I'm just gonna try this white space collapse. Oops. Can I overwrite this? With like, yeah, I'm not actually sure if I can do that. Let's see what white space gives us. Normal, no wrap, pre-line, pre-wrap, break spaces. I don't know. Let's try this. Let's try this and see if it will do that. Oops, I need to refresh this server. And now we can refresh here. And hey, look, now it's working again. Dang it. And there's still a little bit of side scrolling because this has the same problem. It's this content that doesn't wrap very well, I believe. Whoops. And yeah, so how do I make sure that this can do that? Dang it. And it's also like weird. Okay, so we can see word wrap was not really doing anything for us. So I'm actually just going to delete that from the code on the other screen here, but I'll keep you here so we can see before. Maybe we don't want it on. Do we want, let's see. We don't want it on both because there's no reason to have that on both. So do I want it on code or pre? Because it looks like code is not helping us right now. So let's go back here. We're gonna move this before. We're just gonna put this on pre and then restart this and see if that changes anything. Okay, so we finally see the whole thing. Oh my goodness, what a mess. This is obviously not something I've done. The pre-formatted text and the code. I don't know how sites do this normally, actually. So I wonder, let's just go back here and see if he has any. Let's like search for pre. Oh, interesting. Okay. Inline size. Max inline size. He's got padding on the pre. Margin as well. Overflow is auto. And the background is on the pre. So yeah, maybe we just let's ditch the pseudo element here because I don't think that's helping us. Clearly not, right? So okay, let's get rid of all that. Let's do this. We're gonna keep the padding and the background color on there. The last thing that I saw, he did put overflow of auto. And I also am seeing that his white space, right, where'd it go? White space, he's putting it as pre, but I feel like that's still going to give us the same problem. So if I save this and go back over, let's see what happens. I'm just curious. Oh my goodness. Are you serious? Okay, so this one probably needs to have a special class to break it. I wonder if we just, and honestly, I mean, this too, I just don't like this anymore. Maybe three on a row is too much. I was hoping we could condense these into like little cards with little snippets, you know? But I do want to have some styling, and it really makes it hard to see at such a small width. So maybe that's what we do, is we go into our layout, 4 cards. We're going to change this to just two on a row, or 2 columns, I guess. 1 fraction each. Man. This is the kind of thing that I just wish I could do things a little bit better, especially since I'm live with all of you. So thanks for sticking around. It's always the risk of doing these kind of like live coding. It's always scary, and it's always intimidating. I don't think there's any way around that. But you know what? I'm here, you're here, so thank you. Even though I'm getting frustrated, I mean, I feel like this is kind of like, this is part of the job, right? We just can't avoid that. And yes, this does happen to me at my normal job doing development, where you just run into stuff and you're like, why in the world is this not working? I don't know what I'm talking about. And then it's like, oh, actually, it's fine. Eventually. But that's after a lot of heartache. So let's see. Oh, did I not restart? I was wondering why it wasn't doing what I told it to. There we go. And now it's at 2. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So, man, let's, okay. So that, I mean, that's looking better. I can at least read it better than before, maybe. This, I could probably fix up. Maybe I'll just change my spacing on the content there. But that will be for another day. I will not be doing content today because I'm frustrated. That's okay. So we've got, and that also kind of fixed up here. We changed this to just 2 on a row. And so we no longer have side scrolling. So technically we did achieve the goal. Probably not the way that I would have liked to have done it, and probably not the way I was anticipating doing. Definitely not the way I was anticipating doing it. So the last thing is, let's just, yeah, these buttons need to go. They were just for, actually, we probably could just hook these up. Because, yeah, right now they don't do anything. It was just for demonstration on one of the previous live streams. This one also just goes to the top. It doesn't have anything in it. So let's just check out what we did and see if we can just hurry and hook that up with, where are we at? We're on the home page. Here is our button primary and button secondary. Oh, and that's the other thing. This is a button. So I'm just going to get rid of this one. And we're just going to change this to, so it says see advanced tips. Because I kind of wanted like a little, what's this called? Like a featured cards for the advanced tips to just be in a row. And I wonder how we can do this programmatically, because obviously I can just go in here and just grab the link for advanced tips, wherever that is. I can just grab that URL. However, we should be able to do this in Eleventy without this way it just makes things so that if you can do the linking programmatically, then if I change the URL, for example, maybe I add a word or maybe it was misspelled originally, we want to account for any updates to those URLs. So I am going to see if we can do that. We've obviously got an advanced section. It's a tag though, so it's not quite, I don't think it's going to be as simple as just like grabbing collections advanced. How do we do, let's look at the info card. How do we get the URL for this? So where's our, let's see. Okay, so what are we doing here? How do we get the render info card with the card from top advanced? Oh, but it's not linking anywhere. So this is not the right place to be looking. Let's look at our resources and see how, okay, page URL, that's right. Okay. Collections dot resource. Let's check out the documentation really fast and just see if there is something to give us like a little tip here. Links. Where do we get those? Permalinks. I believe. This may not be, because I don't have a specific page. I just have a route, really, because we only have a resources page and everything else is dynamic. Ooh, I don't know. Maybe we can't do it like I was hoping. Man. All right. Well, let's just do that, I guess. We can do it the lame way, which is to just grab our hard-coded URL and put that on our link. Let's see. Not here, in our homepage. Man, I was really hoping I could get that working nicely so that we don't have to maintain it. And that's really what this comes down to, is how can I make this site as self-sufficient as possible? That's ultimately the goal, especially with a templating engine and everything like that. So I don't want to have hard-coded routes in here, but it does work, right? I mean, obviously it works. The problem is, again, is maintainability. Like if I change that advanced, the name of that card basically, or that folder, then I have to worry about finding broken links and fixing them. So I'm not pleased with that, but at least now our site is like, it's fairly presentable. Like maybe that resources nav is the last thing we can do to just make this. I just want this to be ready. I will launch this after the live stream, just to get it out there. And yeah, let's just do one more thing. We're gonna it is bothering me that button is like ramming right up against the card grids. So let's do quickly on card grid. we're also going to do a margin bottom, and we'll just do 2 rem so that anything that's after that will not be hitting the bottom of the card. So okay, so there we go. So now it's looking decent again. We also have too much space, or not enough space on our heading here. So let me just double check this. How did we do that? Oh, it's not even, let's see. Yeah, let's solve this now. We're just gonna need a little bit more HTML structure than I have done. So what I'm looking at, let's see, this is the wrong place. All right, so I'm gonna change these into sections because they should be their own sections, their own like encapsulated areas of the page. So this one, since it's right up at the top, I'm gonna put this in a header because really, I mean, this is kind of like our premiere piece, if you will. And then the other row is gonna go inside of a section tag like that. And then we're gonna double check this. So yeah, we should see section, perfect. And then I can just go in and add a little bit of padding on our sections so that we make sure that they have plenty of space. That's gonna be in our grid, our layout at least. I'm gonna do section, we're gonna do padding. Oh, and we also want to do header because I have that as well. Padding is going to be, we don't want anything on the sides, we just want it on the top and bottom. So let's just do like 3 rem. It's a little more than normal. And I need a colon here. So yeah, because I feel like we've been using 2 rem a lot, and so I just want to really make sure that there's enough space. Oh, and I need to refresh. Boom. All right, so that's finally fixed. That's making me feel a lot better, not quite so cramped. And then we've got our like feature cards, I guess. And then down here we just got a couple of I guess these ones are featured, but these ones are the advanced. So, yeah, last thing, let's just hurry and just fix up this secondary nav. We knew we needed that, right? So let's go into our coding again. We're going to go into navs, which was, is that our components? No, that was just in our like base, right? Where did we put our... Was it really in grids? Oh, it was in grids. Okay, well, there you go. So let's do a secondary nav. This one's going to be a side... yeah, I think we're going to do a side nav so that I can add other content into the resources. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. So let's go into resources and just make sure that we have, I want to put this like in a legitimate nav tag that's going to help with accessibility just a little bit. But I am going to make this a secondary nav. So let's try class of, let's call it side nav. What do I want to call it? Nav-sidebar. We're going to go from a larger idea of nav into the smaller. So we're going to go in here. We're going to add this not here. Grid. And then let's just go down here. We're going to add this class for this. And I also, I am seeing that it's already kind of adding a little bit of, weirdness, just because our header and our footer both are navs and they both have the black background, but I don't want it in this case. So let's just make sure that there's enough specificity. I might just nest these guys actually. So we're gonna say when it's a nav sidebar, we don't want the background color to be black. We actually just want it to be like super light gray, like, I don't know, just enough to kind of help us out, like to identify it as another little section, but not like overt. And that definitely did not work. Let's double check what we did here. Oh, I need to do right here. I nested them, but I did not say that they belong on the same line. So there we go. So we can see it's full width. We don't want that. We do want it to be just like a really nice clean just bar on the edge, and then I can have content where there's white space eventually. So what I'm gonna do is let's restrict this. We're gonna say max width is gonna be like let's do like 100 pixels or something like that and see what that's like. And then finally we want to again make those I don't want, maybe we just hurry and style up the A tag, because I'm not loving the default stuff. So let's just style up A right here in our base abstracts class, because this is our CSS reset basically. Color, we're gonna say I think we just want to do current color. What that is like whatever the color is for like where in context where it's at, it's gonna take it. So I hope you can do that with the anchor tag. We don't want text decoration. I don't want it anywhere. I don't like underlines on my text. So yeah, the current color will be that. And the last thing is let's do a hover, and hover. Whoops. Hover state. We'll do. I'll just call it blue, even though I think it's already blue. But I do want to be able to swap that out when I do a refactor with colors to be reflective of the brand color, which is not quite blue, but it's very close. So blue, hover, and I'm going to add a transition as well for, we could do, really just all 0.15 S and ease in. So let's see if that makes our page look any better. All right, so that's way too small for sure. But it is doing a nice like hover. The current color is obviously white. Oh, and that's probably because the nav and footer have been set to white as the color. So I will have to change that on this nav and also increase that. Let's double check here, because we also want to get rid of any of this padding. So we definitely want to get rid of the padding and the list style. So down here, we're going to go grid. Where's our nav? And then card grid. Yeah, so I'm going to set this, the color is going to be just black. And then we want to get rid of our UL. Actually, I wonder if we can just do that on all navs. We don't want it on any nav. So I might, yeah, I'm going to snag this. I'm going to put it on our nav footer up here. So anytime there's a UL in the nav, actually I don't know if I want that on, because sometimes with a footer you're gonna have links that maybe have columns, so I don't really love that, so I'm actually just gonna pop that out. Let's just do it up here. Nav, oh actually, yeah, so here's our nav styles. If it's a nav, then we don't want the UL to like have our padding, so I'm going to take this off of here. Like we can count on that being something we want for all of our navs. And then also the list style of none, we can count on that being part of any of our navs. So is that everything? Yeah, and I'm actually going to move this up. So there's no reason to have a nav down here and then nav up here too. So this will be nav with that specific type of nav. Probably could move this in there as well, but I'm not going to worry about that just yet. So hopefully with these changes, let's restart. Go in here, boom. Okay, so now we have this. We need to worry about the width still, and then give it some spacing, and then we should be good to go. So let's try I'm seeing, let's do like 300 pixels then. And then we want all of our list items to have a margin bottom of like 1 rem. Let's see if that helps space things out just a little bit. Clean up the type just a little bit. Okay, so that is looking a little bit better. We're gonna want to style the background just a little bit better, but let me just double check. Okay. Oh, but it is adding. Okay, so that's why there's that extra stuff. So we don't want. Okay. We don't want the display to be a grid. So I'll just override it for right now. So when it's a nav, that's a nav sidebar, we're going to do a display of grid. I'm sorry, not grid, flex. Because we don't want it to be grid. And then I want it to be a flex direction of column. And that way we keep everything stacking in the... we want it to be stacking vertically. And that helps it quite a bit. We don't have to worry about spacing on the left side and the right side anymore, so that's awesome. And then the last thing is we'll just add a little bit of padding on the inside of the nav so that the text isn't running up right against there. So I'm going to do a top, right, bottom, left, all of that is going to be one rem. And then the last thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to round out the corners there just because it looks a little bit nicer. I don't remember what we've done. 5 pixels, somewhere on there. And let's try that out. And there we go. So yeah, we've got a nice little bit of a rounded corner. We've got all of our links here. Still not pretty. It's passable. And then the last thing I want to do, maybe I'll just wrap this as well in a section, because I don't want it to be hitting right up against that footer there. So I'm gonna do let's just do a section. I know that I did a header before, but I don't want it to, I don't want I do kind of like how right now at least the section the H1 right here is at least in line right now with the nav. That's probably going to change when I actually have a real design to do with this page, but at least now it's not looking quite as like scary. And these are working nice. So now we have a homepage that is not side scrolling. We fixed our nav. We fixed our footer. We actually fixed the pre-styled or pre-formatted text, despite all of the pain that caused me with, I guess, brain fog. I don't know what's my deal today. But at least things are working a little bit better. I'm gonna just publish this live so you can see it. Obviously my content is really thin, but you know what? We're gonna go live with this. I'll put a link down in the description below so you can check it out if you want to. And of course I'll also update the GitHub repository for this if you want to check out what we've done. And I will be revisiting this for sure. I will probably go in and actually make the content a little bit better, because right now it's just kind of like random and doesn't make any sense. But I would like to still come back here, fix it up just a little bit more so that we have something we can have for future use. That's really the goal of this site, is to be able to have, some skeletons, some basic resources that we can just reset and just use those and plug them in our own projects, kind of like Bootstrap does, but without all of the weight, because Bootstrap is a really huge library. You need JavaScript as well for all of it, because it has important things like carousels and stuff like that. But for some sites you just don't need it. And I'm really just loving the idea of building our own Bootstrap. So that's the whole point of the Deconstructing Bootstrap, series. That's what the point of this was. And despite all of my frustration, I am really proud of kind of where we are right now, because we really haven't done any design work. We're just making things look not like they came out of the 80s, when you open up a browser. So yeah, there's obviously tons of work to be done on this, and that will continue to be the case. So thank you so much for sticking around with me. I really appreciate it. And if anything you take away from this is the lesson that no matter how good you get it, you're just gonna mess up. And especially if you're a live demo, live coding, anything like that is always dangerous. So I'm going to use that as my takeaway from this one, is that you know what, it's all good. I'm still going to create content even though I look like a fool. So thanks for sticking with me, and for the support, and we will see you around on the next one. Take care.